My name is Victoria Hayes, and I was 32 years old the day my sister tried to steal my house while I was giving birth. I wish that sentence were an exaggeration. It isn't. 3 years earlier, I had purchased a beautiful 3-bedroom home outside Denver, Colorado. I worked as a financial analyst and saved every spare dollar for nearly a decade to afford it. My younger sister, Brianna, had a different approach to life. She jumped from job to job, apartment to apartment, relationship to relationship. Every crisis somehow became someone else's responsibility, usually mine. When Brianna was evicted from her apartment, I made the mistake of letting her stay with me for a few weeks. Those few weeks became 8 months. Then came excuses. Then entitlement. Then demands. By the time I became pregnant with my first child, Brianna acted like my home belonged to both of us. My parents encouraged it. Family shares. My mother always said, funny how sharing only worked in one direction. At 8 months pregnant, I was placed on bed rest due to complications. One evening, severe contractions sent me rushing to the hospital. Doctors immediately admitted me. My husband stayed by my side while we prepared for an emergency delivery. 24 hours later, our son arrived safely. It should have been the happiest day of my life. Instead, my phone exploded with messages. A neighbor had seen a moving truck outside my house. At first, I assumed Brianna was finally moving out. I was wrong. Very wrong. My neighbor sent photos. Workers were unloading furniture. New furniture. Expensive furniture. Then came the final photo. A large wooden sign hanging above my fireplace. Brianna and Tyler's forever home. I stared at the picture from my hospital bed. I couldn't breathe. My sister hadn't moved out. She had moved her boyfriend in, and apparently decided my house was now theirs. When I called her, she answered with complete confidence. Oh, good. You're awake. Awake? I had just given birth. Then she said something I'll never forget. You have the baby now. You'll probably want something smaller anyway. I thought I misheard her. I didn't. My parents had convinced her that eventually I would hand over the property because I could afford another one. The house. My house. The one entirely in my name. The one I paid for. The one she had contributed exactly $0 toward. She honestly believed it already belonged to her. That was the moment something inside me changed. Not anger. Clarity. From my hospital bed, I called an attorney. Then I called the police. Then I called a locksmith. 3 days later, I returned home with my newborn son. 2 patrol cars were parked outside. So was a moving truck. But this time it wasn't bringing things in. It was taking things out. Brianna stood on the lawn screaming. My parents were yelling. Her boyfriend looked terrified. The officers calmly explained that living somewhere without ownership doesn't magically create ownership, especially when the actual homeowner wants you gone. By sunset, every box was loaded. Every key was returned. Every lock was changed. Months later, my mother asked why I couldn't have handled it privately. I looked at my son sleeping peacefully in his crib and gave her the only answer that mattered. Because people who respect boundaries don't need police. And people who need police don't respect boundaries. That was the day my sister lost a house she never owned. And the day I stopped confusing kindness with permission.